Oh, what's that? You cannot hear me? Okay. The usual way. What's up, everybody? So, I hope you guys are keeping well and doing alright. So, I've been great, apart from a lot of errands to run and all that kind of stuff. So, I'm running low on, dairy products. How about you go grab some? What is up guys? I hope you guys are keeping great, doing fine. Okay, so let's talk more about adapting, like how I got to adapt into various modes of survival. So there is obviously the adaptation period into getting make your conscience come back, to adapt to normal mode of life. Immediately after I left the hospital, I was not as confident, and it takes like step-by-step growth to actually reach your maximum or your former level of confidence. So there was this period where I felt like I was losing my initial confidence when it comes to that. So, well, for those who don't know, before all this, I was right-handed, and I had to adapt. Okay, adapting from being right-handed to being a left-handed is not an easy task, but I had no option. That is, I wouldn't call it an easy task because it took me, I don't know, 2 years, because I had to write when I couldn't write for like a long period of time, and came back to writing. Like my hand was not used to that, you get it? So there are a lot of tasks that I had to teach myself, to adopt new methods. There are some basic life activities that we take for granted, just simple tasks, doing something, doing this and that, chopping an onion, simple tasks that we take for granted, but they actually are tasks that I had to learn and adapt new methods of doing the tasks themselves. So it was quite a ride. So we also have this thing about stairs and everything. When you're thinking about something, your conscience does not basically think about anything else, your mind basically. So your conscience basically affects your mind, and until you're in your right conscience or right state of mind, you cannot be successful, you cannot see life the way it is. This happened to me like for a long period of time, where every time I was walking in public, and I was like, you have this over self-consciousness of you were not born this way, so it was an accident that happened, and you get this conscience coming up to you, hitting big waves, and telling you all this. I don't know how to explain it. And basically, to get back to my initial confidence, I had to work for it, and I had to work for it in various forms. I had to build like much more confidence to achieve the confidence that I had before. What I mean by that is that I had to get used to it. So what happens when people are staring? When you get used to it, it becomes like a normal thing, and you can now tell your story in your version, and it is not gonna feel awkward or anything. Most people come to me and say, if you don't mind, can you? No, I don't mind at all. Maybe I would have in the initial days, but after building enough confidence, I don't mind it at all and stuff like that. So before I got my prosthetic arm, artificial arm, I had to obviously be like, walk around like that, and I used to hide like my arm. I didn't wanna, the self-consciousness, it's too much. I wouldn't call it embarrassment, because I'm a person, for those of you who know me, I'm a person who has a very high ego, so that doesn't get penetrated easily, even by me losing my arm. One thing for sure is that for me to accomplish the same thing as any other person who has ability to use both their hands, I can say I use maybe double the effort. So I'm just giving you guys a tip. Anytime you see like someone, physically handicapped person, achieve something similar as you, and they deserve more praise. I'm not saying I deserve more praise. I'm just saying I use more effort than a normal person would to accomplish something, because I have to think about it and how I'm gonna go about it, stuff like that. And I also use, extra levels of effort to accomplish the same thing you would with maybe no effort at all. So anytime you see physically handicapped people accomplish things, please make sure to compliment them, and encourage them, because it takes quite a lot of effort to do that, I can assure you. So even in photography, most things actually are made for right-handed people, if you're not come to think about it. Think of a simple thing like my camera. Like, you wouldn't think about it because you're normal and all that, but if you come to think about it, they are basically made for the people who make those things. Most of them, they don't think about situations like this, so they make the things mostly based on their life situation, and simple things are made for right-handed people. And to come adapt, it's especially there is a difference between being left-handed and being left-handed with no choice. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. You have no other option. For the left-handed people who are not physically handicapped, they have an option of using their right hand, stuff like that. But for me and people like me, we have no option like that. I'm not saying I'm worse. I know there are worse people out there. By the way, basically I was talking to someone and I told them I do not consider myself as physically handicapped. So I was applying for this physically handicapped stuff back in my country, and it's my cousin. So she asked me if I had applied, for the card for this physically handicapped, and it shook me to my ways that I never considered myself as physically handicapped. I accomplished everything that a normal person would, and too much praise on me. Yeah, if I'm not gonna praise myself, I don't think anyone is gonna praise myself for my efforts. So you can deal with that. Okay, so when it comes to traveling abroad as an amputee, we have all these things coming into consideration. Being a person of color, so you get stares for being a person of color, and at the same time physically handicapped, so you have to deal with that, those both things. And in summer especially, it's hot. Like right now it's hot. I don't know if you can tell, I'm already sweating. It's hot. So when it gets hot, it's difficult to wear my prosthetic and go outside, because it looks, and it's hot. So I had to adapt to going outside without my prosthetic on, and consuming the stairs without affecting my confidence. So that's a thing I could say that it's an accomplishment that I've made since I came to Hungary. That's a tick for me for sure. So there are so many things that I've come to adapt, and so many traits I've come to adopt, so that to afford a normal life without any inconveniences. So it's a lot. And what I'll tell you guys is not to be afraid to ask these questions, because I'm really very confident about myself. Maybe in the initial days after my accident I was maybe, but for now I've grown. I'm like I take life, how do I put this, I take life normally like just any other person, and I will take your questions in the comments below, and I'm pretty sure there's nothing to fear about in terms of asking me questions and asking me different ways of adapting how I get to do this. People fear asking me those things. How do you get to do this? They're like, if you don't mind. I mean, I don't mind, of course. So make sure to ask me those questions if you have them in the comments below, and I'll be sure to answer them. And there's so much to talk about, but regarding my adoption period, it's been a long 10 years, and there's so much I have adapted in between, so it's a long process. So that's it for today. So be sure to like this video if you want to see more physically handicapped people get to love their lives. And there's some people who live miserable lives just because they became physically handicapped, and there's very many, the bigger percentage, they adopt, and it's a good thing to see people adapt to their environment even with their disabilities. So be sure to leave a like this video, and leave a comment if you may, and make sure to subscribe to my channel to see more videos of my life as an amputee. So that's all for today, and I'll see you guys in the next video.